what excited you so much about the Marco Polo story?
Well, for me, it goes back a long way. Childhood fascination with China and Asia, which got me looking into the history of China. And you can't do that without coming across the name Marco Polo. And so I developed a fascination with Marco, read his journals as a kid, and found that it was so much more exciting than the mythology behind Marco Polo. Years later, I would do a horseback trek in Mongolia, and that rekindled my interest because I was literally on the Silk Road, retracing some of Marco's footsteps. And that's when, the idea really crystallized that it's time to do the Marco Polo story, and the best way, and I feel only way, to really do it is in this new, exciting, long arc television format.
It's a story we usually don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, we are talking about the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, the Persian Empire. Actually, the biggest empire ever was the one of Kublai Khan. We don't know exactly the customs, the cultures, the people living there, and how they were civilized. Because we were so much focused on us, the West, like now. We thought that the Mongols were barbarians, but they were not. They were more civilized than us.
I'm pretty familiar with that part of the history, but I'm fascinated by Marco Polo, who's from Venice, who's an adventurer and an explorer, and to be able to go to a place that is completely new and strange in every perspective, and to be able to embrace it, and to explore and to live the life there. And then I think he also transcended a lot of boundaries between his own culture and the culture, whichever culture he encountered. I think that's very fascinating.
The show, I think, because of the scale of it, has been compared to Game of Thrones. Are you happy with that comparison, or because of the fact that this is reality and not fantasy, would you prefer to distance yourselves from that show?
Having worked on having worked on Game of Thrones, I'm a great admirer of it and love it. I think that Marco Polo is very unique. I think it has its own style of telling a story. It's based in history. It's based in Asia. It has martial arts. I think it's very distinctly different, and I've been vigilant about trying to make it a unique show.
We don't have dragons or like White Walkers. I think the characters are all real, and it's not a fantasy.
Reality can go far beyond the imagination of a man, and that's what we want to say. For you don't know how fascinating was this world. And it was true. That's a good story, because we can school the people.
And what can you tell us about your character and how she fits within this story?
Her name is Koh Chong. She is a princess in Kublai Khan's court, and she is the love interest of Marco Polo's. I have a very mysterious background, like a secret story behind me, and I have to survive and live my life in this very intense court. And then I fall in love with Marco, and that's when everything gets even more complicated.
How far ahead have you mapped out the vision for this show? Do you have a certain amount of seasons that you foresee it lasting, or?
Well, I mean, the truth is that Marco Polo was in Asia for 17 years. Right now, our focus is doing the best season 1 we can, but it's definitely a vast treasure of story.